Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky back with my plans and pans. So this week, of course, was really dominated by the unprecedented insurrection on the Capitol of the United States and also on our democracy. But I want to tell you what my big takeaway really was. And it was best stated by Nancy Pelosi, who said, "Democracy won." I remember so distinctly that on that terrible day, and by the way, I, of course, was there in Washington, but in a safe place, barricaded in my office. We turned off the lights, put furniture in front of the door, and were very quiet, but no trouble came past my office or the corridor. But I was watching the horror on television as my colleagues and staff, their lives were clearly in danger, as Nancy Pelosi's office was completely desecrated. But when the National Guard finally arrived and the smoke cleared, although there was broken glass still everywhere, Nancy Pelosi sent the message loud and clear: "We have a constitutional obligation to certify this election, and we will be going down to the floor of the House of Representatives and get that done." And as traumatized as many of my colleagues were, and as difficult as the situation had been, we proudly went to the floor of the House of Representatives and voted to say that Joe Biden was the president of the United States and that there would be this transfer of power. You know, sad to say that 147 Republicans, including Kevin McCarthy, the head of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, voted against certification. I assure you, many of them knew better who won the election. But nonetheless, democracy won that day. And I think that's the important message to take away for all of us, that as terrible as that day was, as unacceptable, not only the people who did it, but the people who helped plan it. And of course, the commission investigating it in the House of Representatives is still going on unabated. There will be hearings, there will be more investigations, and as I said, it will go not only into those individuals who have to be held accountable, but the people who helped plan it, organize it, were the brains behind it, also have to be held accountable. So I wanted to also begin this January with reminders of all the good things that happened this year despite the challenges. So when the president took office, it was in the midst of really an economic collapse. But as of today, that Americans now have more money in their pockets than they had at the beginning of before the beginning of the pandemic. Yes. Wages are up, unprecedented records of low unemployment, which we haven't seen before. Only 3.9% unemployment in this country. The largest first-year decrease in unemployment in history. We added over 6.4 million jobs in the United States of America. There was a dramatic decrease in the number of people who are hungry in the United States, though we still have a ways to go. There's no question. And poverty was reduced this year because of the American Recovery Act that really made a difference. We know that applications for new businesses has gone up 30%, and that's from the beginning of the pandemic, and that's definitely, I think, a measure of the confidence in our economy. And while we still have some real supply chain problems, I want you to know that before we left Washington, the House of Representatives passed a very important bill to unlock the grid at the ports to make sure that we can open them up, and there is progress being made in that front. And then going forward, what's the agenda? So we hope to see very soon, and I predict that we will, a vote on the Freedom to Vote Act in the United States Senate. This is the bill that was written and introduced by Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin's bill. And Chuck Schumer, the head of the Democrats in the Senate, has said, the majority leader, has said that there will be a vote, hopefully by Martin Luther King Day, the celebration, that will put the Freedom to Vote Act before the senators. Now, do I think it's going to pass on that vote? I think it's unlikely, because even though it should, and even though similar legislation has passed in a bipartisan way over and over again since it was passed, and John Lewis fought for it, the answer is probably no. So where do we go from there? It's clear. And Schumer has outlined the path. And he has said that we need to have a vote that changes the rules of the Senate. When I say changing the rules, many of you know I'm talking about the filibuster, one of the most undemocratic processes that is in the Congress in our country today, that allows a minority of the members of the House of Representatives, only 40, to be able to stop anything. And so the way around that, and this has been suggested, that there be a special carve-out for voting rights, the fundamental right of Americans to, so that could be passed with a simple majority vote. The other possibility is to say that there be a talking filibuster like there used to be. Mr. Smith goes to Washington, you remember, and that allows the minority to be able to talk as long as they can, but ultimately to have a vote that would be decided by majority rule. Now, I want to tell you, we have already in this last session passed legislation with only 51 votes. And so the filibuster was loosened for certain votes that we already had. And so this is not an unprecedented move. And we need to do that because the right to vote is the most precious right that we have in this country and essential to our democracy. So we're hoping that we're going to see those votes very, very soon. And then, of course, we have not given up in any way on Build Back Better, on legislation that could transform in so many ways the lives of so many Americans. And I have every reason to be optimistic about that. Even Joe Manchin has talked about elements of Build Back Better that he would support, quite a few elements actually. And so I believe that we can come to yet another compromise. We can't let him continue to delay or change the goalpost or decide, well, I didn't really mean that or I didn't mean this, but we do need to get a bill passed to deliver real benefits for the American people, lower cost of prescription drugs, better child care, real investment in the climate crisis. There's so many things that we still need to do to help our children, our families, and our country. And so I think we're going to be able to move forward. I know that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats and the Progressive Caucus, we are insistent that we move ahead. And that's true of the vast majority of Democrats in the Senate as well, and I believe that we're going to get the votes that we need. I think there are a couple things that are really important, and I want you to remember these things for your benefit. This is the last call to get the Affordable Care Act. It is not too late. If you sign up by January 15th, then by February 1st, you could get fully covered. And so what you definitely want to do is to go to online, Get Covered Illinois, fully spelled out Illinois, getcoveredillinois.gov. And there you can also get someone to help you called a navigator. Even if you have a plan, maybe you ought to check it out and see if it's still the best plan for you. And if you haven't had a plan, you can get someone to help you to do it. So I really want you to do it. The other is that there is some relief from the cold for people who are having trouble paying their bills to keep warm. And I wanted to let you know that we have, over the last year, the president, the White House, has doubled the low-income housing energy assistance program called LIHEAP. LIHEAP. Those of you who have used it before know how much it can help to pay those bills. So now billions of dollars have been allocated for that. And so I am hoping that you will take advantage of that. Here locally, CEDA, the Community Economic Development Assistance of Cook County, is the agency that is helping to arrange for you to get that help to pay your heating bill. So to learn about how you do that, you can, residents of Cook County can text CEDA, C-E-D-A, to 313131 to find the nearest place that you can register. But I'll tell you, we have that information on my, a link to that's in my email. But I also definitely, if you are having trouble with this and you are fearful of being shut off, and by the way, also the president has negotiated some agreements for no winter shutoffs, for no cold shutoffs. And, we're hoping to avoid those. But if you need help paying those bills and you're kind of at the end of your rope, certainly call my office as well. Well, I want to tell you about the coronavirus. There's been a 250% increase in cases nationally, 97% increase in Cook County. The good news is that it seems that the vaccines and boosters result in fewer deaths. On the other side of the coin, people who are unvaccinated can still face death as a result of getting the virus. Huge difference. So be sure that you get vaccinated. And now 12 years and up children are eligible to get the booster. So be sure that you go out and take advantage of that. I am so proud of my district office. I wanted to tell you that we're always there for you. We're always there for you for things that, you may be driving yourself crazy trying to get through the bureaucracy. We find situation after situation where people have tried for a month, a year or more to be able to get benefits that they are owed. And the good news and the bad news is that sometimes we can solve that problem with a phone call or two. The good news that we can solve the problem. The bad news is that everyone should be able to cut through the red tape by themselves. But unfortunately, that's not true. So please give us a call. We've been able in the last year to return over $1 million to the constituents of the 9th Congressional District. Sometimes it's just helping them find a lower cost prescription drug benefit, and sometimes it's actually finding them a veteran's benefit or a Social Security amount of money that they are owed. And so we are happy and honored to stand with you and help you. So I hope you'll definitely give us a call. We also welcome your comments, criticisms, and just ideas. So we look forward to being in touch all through 2022. I wish you a very healthy, happy, safe new year, and hope all your dreams come true. And I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.